Someone just stole my kitten! Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. I am not the oop. Oop as I drink penny royal tea. Originally posted to our cats. Trigger warning. Death of a parent. Animal abuse and child abuse. Less than. Mood spoiler. Kitten is found. Less than. A decade ago I told myself no more after I lost my cat to cancer. Famous last words. June 2021. Just some info. I live alone. But my GF has been hinting for quite a while she wanted one. I absolutely adore cats. They bring back wonderful memories of my mother, who passed away when I was 10. My mom was absolutely the most kind-hearted, beautiful woman I have ever known, and despite it being over 28 years that she died in 1992, not a day goes by that I don't think about her and miss her. She adored cats. So I've always had a passion for them as well, because while it may sound silly, having a cat is a way for me to keep her memory and spirit alive. I know it's something that if she were alive today, she would absolutely have one. I lost my last cat to cancer over 10 years ago. The vet said that even with surgery, she likely wouldn't live. After so much heartache and tears, I swore that I would never adopt another because losing them is so hard, and no matter what, it always brought back the sadness I felt during those first few months after my mom's death. So last week my GF, who has her own cleaning service, went to a house that had kittens they were giving away for adoption. After a few texts and pictures, I finally relented and agreed. I was terrified the kitten wouldn't accept me or whatever. I think it's a safe bet now though. I've been adopted by her, and I am over the moon. So this one is for you, Mom. We go to the vet tomorrow for her shots and such, but I haven't come up with a good name. I would guess she's about 34 months old, so definitely looking for some suggestions about names. Someone just stole my kitten. June 12th. 2021. I literally just made a post yesterday about how excited I was about having a brand new kitten, after deciding a decade ago that I would never have another one. But after my girlfriend brought one last week, I fell in love all over again. About 3 hours ago I opened the door to carry the trash outside, and apparently I neglected to close the door completely. As I was walking back inside, I noticed that she had walked out onto the porch and was making her way down the steps. So I gently started calling her and was doing the baby talk, and when I got about 5 feet from her, she started walking off towards the road. I was walking behind her, still not really afraid. I was just concerned about picking her up, and as she made it to the road, I was about 10 yards behind her. A car stopped right at her and the passenger side door opened and a 40 to 50-year-old woman stepped out, picked her up, and I immediately yelled out, "Thank you so much." But before I know it, the lady had my brand new kitten in her van and was driving off. I was in absolute shock. Initially I thought she may be turning around to bring her back, but the van kept going. By the time I realized what was going on, the van was too far away for me to get any kind of license plate. Currently I do not have a vehicle, so I had no way to initiate any type of chase. I immediately broke down and was a combination of crying my eyes out and playing out a scene from John Wick and prepared to go hunt them down. Unfortunately, I would not know where to begin. I am a 38-year-old man and I am absolutely an emotional wreck right now. I don't know what to do. I notified the police department, but they made it abundantly clear that this was very low priority, and they would send someone over at their first available chance, but that more than likely there's nothing that they can do. I don't have any cameras or anything to identify the kidnappers. All I have is a vehicle description. I was so worried that my girlfriend was going to be angry, but she seems to be more concerned with my well-being than anything. She really is my rock. What is wrong with people? Why would you do this? They absolutely saw me and knew that the kitten was mine and that I was walking after her. I never meant for her to get outside. It was a mistake. But I can't help but beat myself up because if I had only taken 2 more seconds to make sure the door was closed, this wouldn't have happened. So now I'm lying in this bedroom all by myself wondering where my kitten is. She must be so confused. She must be so scared. One reason my girlfriend did get the kitten for me was because I recently reached 18 months of sobriety from a 20-year pain pill addiction. It was somewhat of a congratulations gift. And I loved that cat so much. I literally only knew her for a week and I feel like my heart has been ripped from my chest. So hold your cats close tonight, because some of us will be going to sleep with a hole in our heart. I considered trying to post some type of reward on a community page and a community Facebook page, even though I deleted my Facebook. But unfortunately I'm not in the financial spot to do anything like that. I'm lucky when I can pay my light bill and cell phone bill each month. So a reward is definitely not something that I can afford at this moment in time. Here's the album from the post last night that I made. I miss her so much. https://imager.com/a/cwict. Pictures are of the kitten. Someone just stole my kitten. Final update June 14th, 2021. First of all, thank you all so much for your support and for the many suggestions on things that I could do to help locate her. So first thing I did was contact the police, which I believe I mentioned in my original post. They were absolutely no help. The dispatcher originally told me that a deputy would be by to take a report. However, it was low priority and maybe the following day before anyone would come by. Needless to say, I never received a phone call or visit from my local sheriff's office. Can't say I'm really surprised. Next I contacted a friend who is pretty active on several social media sites and asked him to post whatever he could about the incident, and not to mention any type of reward but to include details of when and where it happened and the description of the vehicle and woman that I saw. I was not really hopeful that we would see any results. But doing nothing wasn't going to bear any fruit either, so this was better than nothing. About 8 o'clock this morning my buddy calls me basically screaming into the phone that he thinks he's found my cat. Someone recognized the post on his Facebook and recognized that someone fitting that description had also recently posted a picture of their new kitten that they had adopted. When he sent me the picture of the kitten that this mysterious person had posted, it was my kitten. Oh my god, I have never been so happy but so furious at the same time. So as mentioned before, I don't have a vehicle right now. So my friend who put the post up came and picked me up, and through some networking and subscriptions to records websites we managed to get the address of the woman that posted the picture of her new kitten. As we pulled up I began to cry. The house was dreadful. I'm talking chickens and roosters in the yard, cats and dogs. In the back there was a small pen with a couple of goats. There was a mule that was extremely emaciated. There were just abandoned children toys everywhere. Tires that were stacked up everywhere. A lot of those 55-gallon barrel drums here and there. And to top it off, despite the poor condition of the mobile home, they still had Christmas lights up that were flashing at 11 o'clock a.m. in the morning. And these weren't the tiny lights. They were the big bulbs like you see in the Lampoon's Christmas movie. I pulled myself together and my buddy and I walked up to the door, and this woman answered it, holding my cat. She was holding my cat. And she looked at us as if she was thinking, "What do you want?" I politely looked for dead in her eyes and said, "Ma'am, I recognize you from yesterday when you picked up the cat that you have in your hands from in front of my yard as I was yelling at you, and before I could catch you, you drove off." She initially tried to give some song and dance about I was mistaken, but think that she could see the rage and the tears in my eyes, and finally said that she thought the cat was abandoned and was trying to give her a good home. She handed the cat over and profusely apologized, and my buddy and I just simply walked away. I wanted to say so many other things to her, but at the end of the day my goal was accomplished. The only other thing that I did turn around and ask was, "How many children live here?" She looked confused and asked me why I was asking. I made up an excuse that I knew where some other kittens were if she was interested, if she had children that may want another one. That's when she told me she had 3 children between the ages of 2 and 8 that lived with her. I thanked her again and told her that I would check around to see if I could find any others for her, and would be glad to send them her way if I could find any. My buddy and I got in the car and proceeded to haul ass out of there. Before we can make it to the stop sign, I was already Googling the number for Child Protective Services for my county, the condition of this house, the condition of the woman, and the overall smell of ammonia that came from inside the house was absolutely rancid. Frankly, I don't give a s about that woman, but I do care about the fact that children are in that situation. So I gave CPS all the pertinent information that I had gained from my own little personal investigation, along with the story of what happened with my cat and the woman's name and what I had witnessed and her address, and I begged them to please do a welfare check onto those children because I was very worried about them. I can only hope that they will follow up, because emotionally I don't know what else I can do. So that's my story. I appreciate everyone who had good things to say and gave me great ideas. I'm grateful to my friends that helped me to get my cat back. I gave her a good bath once we got home, still have her vet appointment in 2 weeks to get spayed and chipped. I don't think that anything could have happened to her in a negative way in those 2 missing days. But I am glad that she had just been wormed. So my lesson has been learned. I will definitely make sure to keep the doors closed at all times. I just hope that those children in that house can find a safe atmosphere as well. I am not the oop woman sounds like an animal hoarder. I pray that CPS took those kids out of that place. It is definitely not good for anyone to be living like that. A very similar thing happened in my hometown recently. Someone stole an adult cat and took it home on the bus. If it weren't for a smart, caring young man on the bus who thought something was wrong and reported what he'd witnessed, they wouldn't have got the cat back. I am so glad they got their happy ending. What a horrible person to steal a pet. I completely get the John Wick impulse of, "You are going to pay for this." The good thing is, this cat will probably have a great life from now on with all the love and cuddles they deserve. Priorities are in order. Step 1. Retrieve kitten safely. Step 2. Salt the earth. Ravage the land. Burninate all the peoples. I was shocked at her audacity to steal his cat right in front of him until he described her home. And then I was no longer shocked. I know people who live in similar environments and would do the same thing. So glad he got his kitten back, and I hope that something is done to help the others trapped in her care. Quick thinking to get info about the kids for CPS. If there's an animal protection service in the area, OP should call them too. Wonderful ending. My only notes are, microchip that kitty. Call either animal control or the local humane society. That woman's starving animals to death. A quick Google shows that if they are neglecting the animals to the point of emaciation, they can be rescued, forcibly surrendered, and the owners charged. Glad he was able to get his kitten back. And he had the cognizance to hold his tongue, because it could have gone south quickly. I once found a legitimately lost kitten, and posted a notice in the neighborhood saying so, and someone called me wanting the kitten. They were not the owner. And they weren't trying to reclaim it. They were just some random entitled person pleased to have spotted the opportunity to take someone else's pet and property before the owner had any chance to. Like this lady. And of course the random entitled person then got snotty with me for being gobsmacked. Anyone would have that kind of nerve. But I have kids. Yeah. So did the kitten's owners. As it turned out. Push off, ye thieving ninny. I empathize heavily for Oop. Losing a pet is devastating and I don't envy him for getting his cat stolen. But I sat here thinking, she wouldn't have gotten the cat if you'd picked her up. Why didn't you pick her up? Single quote. So I gave CPS all the pertinent information that I had gained from my own little personal investigation along with the story of what happened with my cat and the woman's name and what I had witnessed and her address, and I begged them to please do a welfare check onto those children because I was very worried about them. I can only hope that they will follow up because emotionally I don't know what else I can do. Bless this man. That was so the right thing to do. Geez, that took a turn. OMG. My cat just escaped today to stairway. I live in apartment. She has decided exploring is must and fun, and with 2 cats coming from store it is not always easiest to keep her away. So now I worry what if this happens to her. Anyways, I am glad Oop got their cat back. That's some BS. She heard Oop yelling at her. She just threw she could get away scot-free, not realizing by posting pictures of the kitten on social media Oop and others would be able to find her and the kitten. I'm happy Oop got their kitten back, and I'm also glad Oop called CPS too. Hopefully both the kids and the other animals get the help they need. Someone stole my adult cat when I was a teenager. Some people have no shame. I can't imagine just taking an animal without making sure it didn't have a home first. They have far more restraint than I would have had in this situation. I'm glad he got the kitty back. Microchip your pets. I was going to say babies but realized that was ambiguous. I think that Animal Protective Services would probably be better than Child Protective Services. For the most part, they take animal hoarding pretty seriously, whereas Child Protective Services may determine that children in an animal hoarder's house are not at risk.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.